B'shus our great Rosh Hashiva, Choshev rabbonim, wonderful Talmidim. Just hard to believe it's the first time in my life that I'm in Or Sameach. There are very few Jews in the entire world, in the frum world, that didn't hear of Or Sameach. This is maybe first, foremost, definitely one of the greatest centers of Kiruv L'Choikim in the entire world, and for decades. So for me, it's a zchus and a privilege to be here. I have quite a few Talmidim throughout the years that have gone through this magnificent Moisid. I have members of my shul, the teacher in Or Sameach for many years. One of them is Rabbi Yaakov, my dear friend. So I'm just moved to stand here in this beautiful Beis Medrash. So just a week and a half, we all will be standing at the foot of the mountain. Everyone is familiar with the Ma'amar Chazal. B'chol doyer v'doyer chayev odam lerois atzmai kelehu yotzo meMitzrayim. In every generation, each and every Jew is to see himself as if he is the one that was redeemed from Eretz Mitzrayim. And we find a similar Ma'amar Chazal, a similar statement, B'chol doyer v'doyer chayev odam lerois atzmai kelehu. He is standing at the foot of the mountain and he is shouting out, Nasa v'nishma. The Kotzker Rebbe, Reb Mendele, used to say, Matan Torah was once in history, but Kabbalah Torah could be and should be each and every day of our lives, definitely each and every year of our lives. Shavuot. This is the day. This is the day in which our forefathers and all of us stood there and all together, Ki ish echod u'belev echod, we shouted out Nasa v'nishma. So what exactly is a Jew supposed to feel as he tries to get into the mood of Nasa v'nishma? Maybe some of you are familiar with the Piasetzner Rebbe. I don't know. This is not really a Hasidic institution, but as you look at me, I look like a Chassid. I consider myself one. So the Piasetzner Rebbe was a great tzaddik and a great educator. He was murdered by the Nazis. Hashem Yakom Dumo. And he left us something that was unheard of in the Hasidic world, and even in the Gadlish world, somewhat of a personal diary in which he talks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. His most intimate feelings between him and Hashem. And in one passage he writes, and when I first read this, I remember that moment. It was many years ago. Zalgo einai demois. Tears streamed down my cheeks, and literally, not as emotional, not allegorically. So he writes, Rabboni Shalom, my Father in the heavens, I would like to give you something. I would like to do something for you. What could I offer? I should learn Torah. I've been learning as much as I can learn for many years. I don't feel I could do much more. I should daven with kavanah. I've been trying my best since I remember myself. I don't think I could do much more. I would like to convert. But what could I do? I was born a Jew. And it sounds as if he is complaining that he was born a Jew. So the only act that would really fulfill his yearning, his thirst of Kirvas Elokim, the only act that will really satisfy his dveikus and his yearning to come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu would be to convert. But I was born a Jew, so I can't convert. And reading those lines, I thought to myself, and who said that a Jew can't convert? Maybe we could. Sounds strange, but what is gerus? What does conversion demand? So we learn all about gerus from Matan Torah. And that's a lengthy sugya in Yevomes, Mem Vov, Mem Zayin. All the details of gerus. Avoiseinu lo nechnesu lebris elo betmi letvila v'hardzo esdomim. It's a lengthy sugya in Yevomes. So mila, circumcision, obviously we can't do that because, Baruch Hashem, our parents did it for us when we were babies, 8 days old. You could go to the mikveh, but it's not the same. Many of us go to the mikveh all the time, but that is not gerus. What is the third component of gerus? Kabbalas oil mitzvahs. The acceptance of this yoke. The acceptance of mitzvahs. We are all very selective in our mitzvahs. All of us. You and me. We love some mitzvahs, and usually we ignore some others. We know some people that really are diligent in Shmiras Shabbos, and they know the Mishnah Berurah and Hilchos Tefillah and Atilas Yadayim, but not so much in Mitzvah Shebenodim L'Chaveiroi. In their integrity and the way they deal with other people and monetary issues, and not only in monetary issues. And on the other hand, we know some people that are so okay in Benodim L'Chaveiroi, but they lack Yiras Shamayim when it comes to the details of Tefillah and Kriyas Shema and Shabbos. But a ger, when he comes to convert, there's a Gemara in B'choros Daf Lamed, Kibel al atzmo kol haTorah kula chutz medavar echad. The convert says, I am willing to take upon himself almost everything, 612. Could you give me a break? Just one mitzvah that I have difficulty with, and we need to turn him down. And we say, no way. Chutz medavar echad ein mekabel noisei. So a convert, again, doesn't have the liberty to decide which mitzvahs appeal to me and which do not. We require him to take upon himself the entire package, with no exceptions. So maybe each and every one of us could stand once in a while before HaKadosh Baruch Hu and just try to imagine you're coming in from the cold. We want to convert. And yes, we are willing to take upon ourselves the entire package. So in that aspect, I think, Tanuach Da'atcha Arebe Mipiasetzna. Maybe we could convert. Maybe we should. At least once a year, when Chag Shavuot comes. And this is the time in which our forefathers, yes, they came in, Lachsois Tachas Kanfe Hashchina. And maybe we should do the same. Erev Yom Tov, you go to the mikveh, but the real thing is Kabbalah Sol Malchus Shemayim. And this is the time. So every Yom Tov has its own spirit, its unique neshama yisrael. Pesach we say is man cheruseinu. Sukkot is man simchoseinu. Shavuot is matan Toraseinu. So what is the difference between Shavuot and Simchas Torah? It's not very reasonable that we have two Yom Tovim that have the same essence. So what is the fundamental difference between Simchas Torah, which is Shmini Atzeres, and it's not coincidence, no way that Shmini Atzeres developed into Simchas Torah. So what is the fundamental difference between these two Yomim Torah? I like words. And I like hagdoras and definitions. I think the difference is, I'll say it in Lashon Kodesh, and I'll try to translate it in English, but it's better in Lashon Kodesh. בשבועות אנחנו שמחים שקיבלנו את התורה. שמחת תורה, אנחנו שמחים עם התורה שקיבלנו. Our Simcha Shavuos is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose us amongst all the other nations, and He found us fitting, and He gave us Torah. Simchas Torah, we rejoice with the Torah that we received. So Simchas Torah, we are Misayim Chamishachum Shetorah, and we dance with the Sefer Torah, manifesting how much we love Torah. The Simcha of Shavuos is that we receive the Torah. This is the day in which our forefathers stood before Har Sinai, Vigdimu Nasa L'Nishma, and we try to do the same. So every day in the morning we have Berachas HaTorah. Berachas HaTorah is 2 brachas. Maybe 2.5, but fundamentally 2 brachas. First bracha is Lasuk b'divrei Torah, v'harevnu Hashem Elokeinu es divrei Toraschu b'finu. The second bracha is Asher bochu bonu mekol ha'amim v'nosen lanu es terasai. Baruch atu Hashem noisen HaTorah. Bracha number 1 is Simchas Torah. Lasuk b'divrei Torah v'harevnu. Bracha number 2 is Chag HaShavuos. This is the day in which we thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for choosing us, for giving us Torah. This is the day in which each and every one of us tries to develop a mindset. We are standing there together with our others, and we are the ones crying out, Nasa v'nishma. We are the ones that are coming to convert, coming to be part of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's family. חובב אדם שנברו בצלם, חביבין ישראל, שנקראו בונם למוקם. So most commentators on Masechet Avos, this week a new Minchas Osher came out, Minchas Osher in English, which is for me a tremendous simcha. So most commentators on the Mishnah Masechet Avos say, Chavav Adam Shenivra B'Tselem applies to every human being. What is unique about us? Chavivin Yisrael Shenikru Bonam Lamokaim. We are Kodesh Baruch Hu's children. We are Kodesh Baruch Hu's family. And that is what we feel in Shavuos. And we thank you, Kodesh Baruch Hu, Asher Bocha Bonu Mekolam, V'nosan Lano Es Teros. So what happened on Chag HaShavuos? Vav Sivan. Tosis and Masechet Shabbos Peizayin ask, there seems to be a contradiction in the same daf, Shabbos Peizayin. On one hand, Chazal exalt the moment, B'shosh shehegedimu Yisrael nasa lenishma. What a magnificent moment that was. Because by human nature, a free man would never take upon himself something before he knows what it is that I am required to take upon myself. By human nature, a sensible human being says, Nishma v'nasa. But we were different. And we said, Nasa v'nishma. Without even knowing what it is, we trusted HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we said, we love you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we don't even know what it is you want. Whatever it is you want, we are there. We are with you. So that was a magnificent moment. But on the other hand, in the same daf, Chazal say, Kafar aleim har kegigas. HaKadosh Baruch Hu turned over the mountain, and He threatened us, Em einat mekabel Torah, then your story is over. Tosfos writes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu kiviyochel was afraid. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is never afraid. But this is the way we need to try to understand. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu was afraid. Maybe when the people will see the fire, maybe they'll retract. Maybe they'll regret. And therefore, even though they did say, yes, this is what we want, this is what we'll do, nevertheless, the Kodesh Baruch Hu turned over the mountain to say, there's no way out. There's no way out. Nitner Rishus. And I want to share with you my feeling. Kodesh Baruch Hu comes to Klal Yisrael and he says, I want to offer you Torah. Instinctively, they would say, of course, yes. I mean, they had quite a good time out there. You know, manna min hashamayim, manna every day in the morning, slav. So sandwiches every day in the morning, fleischige meal every day in the afternoon. They had mineral water wherever they went. Be'ero shel miri. In the middle of the desert, and they had air conditioning, with the Nana covered, and Simlas Chole Bolsa Miolacha, V'raglecho lo b'tzeiko. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Kinderlach, I have something else to offer. Of course they would say, Wes. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, no, Kinderlach. You know what Kinderlach is, right? It's in English. It's in all language. There's no other word like Kinderlach. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Kinderlach, I want you to understand, what I'm offering now is not another chupar. It's not another gift. What I'm offering now is a burden. 613 mitzvahs. I want you to be aware what you're taking upon yourself. Up to now you had 7. And the 7 mitzvahs of the Noachide code, Sheva mitzvahs me'enoach, boil down to one thing: be a mensch. Be a mensch. Don't kill, don't steal, don't lie. Just be a mensch. What I'm offering now, 7 morph into 613. And what I demand is not only your deeds and your actions, what you say and what you think and what you feel. Everything is for me. I want you to bear. Loi sorora ani noisim lochem, avdus ani noisim lochem. What I'm offering now is servitude, slavery. You thought you're leaving Egypt to be a free people. Yes. You will be free from human bondage, but you will be my avodim. Kili b'nei Yisrael avodim. Avodeheim asher hoitzeisi oisam me'eretz Mitzrayim. What is the symbol of Avdus? What is the symbol of being a slave? That's a Gemara in Yevomis Memvav Amedalev. The Gemara says, when you're matbil a eved, when an eved comes into the possession of a Jew, he needs to do tefillah, he needs to immerse in the mikveh. And as he sticks his head out of the water, am telezul tedetina areishei, you put an overturned vessel on his head. And that vessel symbolizes Avdus. It is no coincidence that Chazal used the language kafo aleim har kigigis. It was one huge collective vessel on the heads of the entire people. And that symbolizes Avdus. So it's beautiful that you all cried out Nasa v'nishma. But I want to be sure that you understand what you're taking upon yourself. Kafo aleim har kigigis, over the collective head of an entire people. And suddenly, sunlight was blacked out. And everybody looked up. What did they see? They saw a vessel. And then they remembered the Gemara in Yevomis Daf Memvav. That's Avdus. That is the symbol of Avdus. Ve'af al pikein, and nevertheless, higdimu nasa lenishma. So Tosfos writes that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was afraid when they will see the fire, maybe they'll retract. What did they do when they did see the fire? What happened? Let us just learn a pasuk. Do you remember the pasuk of Parshas V'eschanan? Ve'hinei hahar boyer be'esh, and the mountain is burning with fire. Choshech anon v'arafel, Usually a big fire gives a lot of light, and this was a frightening spectacle. Huge fire, ahar boya be'esh, on the other hand, choshech onan v'yarofon. And what happened? Did anybody run away? V'tikravun v'tamdun tachas hahar. Nobody looked for cover. Nobody ran out. They all wanted to be under the mountain. That is what happened. So Kiviyachal HaKadosh Baruch Hu was kufalei markegikis because he was afraid. What will happen when they see the fire? They'll retract, they'll regret, they'll run away. No one ran away. And that is the beauty, and that was the greatness of Ma'amad Har-Sinai. Many years ago, I heard a story from the Lev Simcha. The Lev Simcha was the Gerer Rebbe in Yerushalayim. He was one of the 3 children of the Imre Emes. The Imre Emes was a great Gerer Rebbe in Poland. In his last years, he was in Yerushalayim and he passed away. He's buried right next to Yeshivas Sfas Emes. So the Lev Simcha told me that he heard from the Imre Emes that it once transpired Sukkos, the Sfas Emes. Even those that are not familiar with the Lev Simcha or the Imre Emes, everybody learns Sfas Emes. Probably most of you are familiar with the Sfas Emes. So once Sukkos, the Sfas Emes said, "Wenn man sucht unu Hashem kemen poilen de gereste Sachen." Judging by your faces, I don't think many of you understood what I just said. So the Sfas Emes said, when you say Onu Hashem and Hallel, you could achieve the greatest things. And the Imre Emes said, there was an argument between the elders, Ziknei HaChasidim. Did he mean Onu Hashem Mashiach, or did he mean Onu Hashem Atzlichano? And the Imre Emes said, but I understood he meant neither Onu Hashem Mashiach, nor Onu Hashem Atzlichano, but rather Onu Hashem ki ani avdecha. Ani avdecha ben amosecha. So this is the story. Let me share with you my interpretation of this story. Onu Hashem Mashiach is Aleph Nun Aleph, the same Onu Hashem Atzlichano. Onu Hashem Kani Avdech was a different word. It's Aleph Nun Hey. And who was the biggest daktikan of all the Rishonim? The Radak, Reb David Kimchi. And he explains, Aleph Nun Aleph is a plea. We plea with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, please, Hoshiano, please, Hatzlichano. Onu with the Hey is an expression of gratitude. We thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We say thank you. For what? Thank you for letting us serve. Thank you for having us as your servants. It is only twice in the entire Rambam. It is only twice in Mishnah Torah that we find the expression Simcha Yisero. Twice and no more. At the end of Hilchas Lulav, the Rambam writes, "Aval pi shekol hamoyed mitzvah lesmoach behem b'yamei hachag hoisu sham simchu yisero." All the Yomim Tovim we have a mitzvah of simcha v'samachtu b'chagecho. Sukkos was the greatest simcha, simcha yisero. Where else do we find this expression? Perek Gimel Hilchas Chanukah. Ein oimrim halal b'Rosh Hashanah v'Yom Kippurim. We don't say halal Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Why? Lefi she'ein elu yomim shel simcha yisera, elu shel yiro v'fachat. Halal simcha yisera, sukkah simcha yisera. Now try to understand. When you say Onu Hashem keni avdecho, halal sukkahs. That's the greatest simcha in the entire Jewish year. Simcha yisera b'kiflayim. And you say, we are so happy, and we thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for what? For Oisha, for Kavod, for the gifts He bestows upon us. We thank you, Kodesh Baruch Hu, that He lets us serve, that we are bonim l'mokim, and we are avodim l'mokim. That is our simcha. And that is the simcha of Shavuot. So we have less than 10 days for Shavuot. And another 10 days we will all be standing at the foot of the mountain. And we try to feel, together with our forefathers, we shout out Nasa v'nishma. We want to be a Kodesh Baruch Hu's people. Minchas Osher Klolei HaMitzvahs. Baruch Hashem, I have no words to thank you, Kodesh Baruch Hu. I wrote 35 Svarim, and one of my favorite Svarim is Minchas Osher Klolei HaMitzvahs. Siman Yud Gimel is about Simcha. And I write there are 11 different Gedorim in Simcha. 11 different categories, times, events, and ways in which a Yid, a Jew, is supposed to be happy, and how he expresses Simcha. And that is Simchas Yom Tov, Simchas Chosim V'Kala, Simchas Beis HaShoyave, Simchas HaTorah, Simchas HaMitzvah, and many others. I'm not here today to give a lamda shishir. But the most fundamental simcha is simchas or avdus. Whatever transpires and whatever happens in our lives, we are happy to be a Kodesh Baruch Hu's people. And out of the billions walking the face of earth, we, lo yimerubchem mekol ha'amim, ki atem hama'at mekol ha'amim. We are a small people. That is the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu planned it. And that's the way He wants it. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a small family. We are the chosen people. So before Simchas Yom Tov and Simchas Chosim V'Kala, even before Simchas HaTorah and Simchas HaMitzvah, Simchas Avdus. And that is the Avdus of Moshe Rabbeinu. Yismach Moshe b'matnas chelkai, ki eved nemon karosa loi. Kodesh Baruch Hu calls Moshe Avdi, not Beni. Loi ken Moshe Avdi. V'yamisha Moshe Eved Hashem. Because an Eved, a happy Eved, an Eved mitoch simcha, an Eved by choice, that is the highest level a Jew could ever achieve. And that is what Shavuot is all about. So in another week or so, we will all be standing there, b'kabbalas haTorah, and we all will stand before HaKadosh Baruch Hu and once again say, Nasa v'nishma. This is where we want to be. So I speak in many yeshivas, but I think our Talmidim here in Or Sameach probably know more than most of the others what it is to come to Har Sinai out of choice. Not having greatness thrust upon them, but choosing. This is what you choose. And many of you came a long way. Many of you came a long way to sit in this Beis HaMedrash, to sit Ba'atra Kadisha Hodain in Yerushalayim Yer HaKodesh, sitting and learning Torah. Ashreinu ma toiv chelkeinu. So my bracha to all of you. First and foremost to the Yeshiva. You should have many more wonderful years of Arbotzas Torah and nachas from your magnificent family, the Or Sameach family, and to all the Rabbeim, and all the Mechanchim, and all the teachers of Torah, and Achronim Chavivim, all the Talmidim of the Yeshiva. We should all be Zoicha. La'agdil Torah u'la'adira, u'la'kadesh Shem Shemayim. We should all be Zoicha. L'kabel oil Torah v'oil Malchus Shemayim ba'ahava. We are living in a difficult time, as you all are very aware, of this terrible war that's raging almost 8 months. So Baruch Hashem, you're sitting in the Beis HaMedrash. I don't know whether many of you have relatives in the army, but I have many Talmidim there. I know many soldiers that lost their lives, and many others that were badly injured. And many families, thousands of fathers and mothers that for months can't sleep by night. I have a very good friend in Ramot. Tells me a story which is amusing, sad, and maybe not so sad. Wonderful person, has 4 kids in the army. So one night, 11 o'clock, there's a knock on the door. And when you have children in Oz and there's a knock at the door in an unusual hour, your heart sinks into your stomach and you're afraid to walk to the door. And he hopes that knock will go away. It doesn't go away. And there's another knock and another one with a heavy heart. He opens the door. And there's an avrech asking for money. He says, my instinctive response was to kick him in the face and throw him down all the steps. But then I was so happy to see him. He said, I brought him into my house. I offered him food and drinks. I gave him more money than I ever gave a schnorrer. I was so happy that it's you and no one else. So many in our community don't really feel the pain and the suffering. We are a small people. And almost every day, we're losing young people. Every day almonas, every day yesayimim, every day fathers going to the levayas of their young children. And it's heart-wrenching and it's painful. And we all need to feel a responsibility. We firmly believe what the Gemara says in Makos Daf Yud, Oim dois hoyo ragleinu b'malchama b'schus shari Yerushalayim shoiskim b'Torah. Israel doesn't win wars just by might. We are the people of miracles. Nothing about us is natural. Yes, we need to do all the shtadlis b'derech hateva, just like we do in medicine and parnasa. We need the best army and the best weapons. But we won't win wars without Torah and without tefillah. But we all need to feel this responsibility. So we need to learn more and learn better. Daven more and daven better. More chesed, more ahavas Yisrael. And chesed is not only money. Chesed is caring. Chesed is compassion. Chesed is ish esrei eyo yazero ola ochav yoim chazak. So when we are mekabel ol Torah and we take upon ourselves to learn and to daven and to be diligent in our mitzvahs and to be closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and come every day closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu yerachem alamo, and we shall only hear b'soides tovos and yeshuos and achomes. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishlach lanu Mashiach tzedkenu b'mheiro v'yomeinu amen.